Hey everybody, my name is Esther and I have Parkinson's disease. If you haven't already, hit the follow. So I've been chomping at the bit for the last couple days to make a post about a symptom that I've had for a very long time, that I have spoken about, but I haven't really told you guys how much I've been learning about it. And that is the problems that I've had from like day one with my heart. So I had mentioned in a couple very early posts that one of my first symptoms was I would wake up in the morning and my heart would be racing. And before I had my tremor, before even my insomnia and stuff was really bad, that was one of my very first symptoms, and it was super alarming because it would be every morning I would just wake up like, and my heart would be like, boo, and I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. And I would also get that same racing heart feeling, which is called tachycardia, after I ate. And I was working at a hospital at the time, and I remember telling a friend of mine who was a nurse, like, dude, I get this crazy feeling when I eat, because I honestly like stopped eating as much and started losing weight back then because of it, because that feeling was just so gross and scary and weird. Like your heart's pounding and you're like, what's happening? And I went and saw a cardiologist at that time. And so I had a full cardiac workup, including like a stress test on the treadmill and stuff, and everything was fine. But that's the crazy thing about Parkinson's, because think about it. If this is a symptom that only happens when I'm awake, first thing in the morning when I wake up, or after I eat, when I went and got that cardiac workout at like 11:30, after I had already had breakfast, that's not going to happen. You know, so much of our symptoms have to do with timing. Even with my tremor, like I remember I saw one neurologist and I was so nervous. I was tremoring like crazy, and it was super cold that day too. But then I saw another neurologist in the afternoon who was actually like a friend of mine, and I was totally chill, and so I didn't tremor visibly at all. So I'm really glad that I saw a cardiologist at that time, but I haven't seen one since. And now that I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's, I think it's a really good idea for myself at least to probably see if my MDS recommends that I see one again, or even my primary care, because I definitely have noticed more cardiovascular symptoms progressing. So I take propanolol, which is a hypertension medication. It lowers my blood pressure, but I do struggle sometimes when I get up of feeling dizzy. I especially notice it when I get out of the tub. I love a scorching hot bath. I am not a shower girl. I want to boil myself every evening. But I have that horrible tendency of just like popping up, and then I'm like, woo. So I worry about things like that because I don't want to fall, right? I mean, that's my big fear, is like, I know so many people that end up in the ER because they pass out and hit your head. And I mean, I got small kids. I don't know, like, what if I passed out in the tub and drowned? Like, knock on wood, but I mean, that stuff's scary. And again, it's all preventable. Like, I should be able to be conscious about standing up, right? But you know how life is, like, you get busy doing stuff and you're not doing things the way that you should. And so, I mean, maybe I should become a shower girl. I don't know. But these are like preventable things that we can do as people with Parkinson's to, you know, prevent worse things from happening to us, right? Anyway, I was at this educational event, and there was a lady there who's a doctor of physical therapy, and she's actually doing research on the cardiovascular effects of exercise in Parkinson's. And I had a lot of questions for her, like I always do for everybody. Everybody's gonna hate me at all these events because I'm just like, excuse me. People are like, can we go home? We want to eat. But I'm really obsessed with this issue of cardiovascular health and Parkinson's for this reason. Number one, because I have those symptoms. Number two, even with the propanolol, I still get it. And you have to be careful with the propanolol because it lowers your blood pressure and can make some of it worse, right? And she told me something that I didn't really think of. She was explaining to me like how the autonomic nervous system works and controls, you know, our heart rate and our bowel movements and our digestive system and all of these things, and Parkinson's. And so it's not really a matter of like if you have dysautonomia. It's not a matter of if you have a disruption in your autonomic nervous system. It's what it looks like for you, right? It's not like an either or. It's not like something you can opt out of, right? You just have it you know, some people have it more severe, some people have it presenting differently. And she was telling me that it's not just what's happening with the Parkinsonism itself, it's the medication as well. So that the levodopa also has these hypotensive properties. So we're getting this double whammy of like the Parkinson's disease progression itself, causing these cardiovascular issues, and then the medication on top of that, right? Coupled with the triple whammy, which is age. So she was talking about the stiffening of vessels in our body that can also be related to Parkinson's, which, you know, of course, we can say that, but the stiffening of your vessels is also a common thing in age progression. So that's what I mean, like, I don't necessarily want to blame everything on Parkinsonism, all the Parkinson's disease itself, right? Or the umbrella of diseases under it. It's also kind of on this road, like we're driving in this car and it's like, get in menopause, get in the fact that you're getting old, get in the back Parkinson's. We're all going down this crummy road, right? Off into the ditch. But things like this are things that, although we can prevent, just like with aging, we can do stuff to slow it down. We can do stuff to improve it, and we can be aware of it and look for things like, for example, signs of stroke. So obviously, if we know we're at an increased risk for the stiffening of our vessels in our cardiovascular system and our brain, then we're going to be at a higher risk for heart attacks and strokes. Okay, and can we prevent a heart attack and stroke? Not 100%, right? But I also can't prevent myself getting run over by a car 100%, but I can do some things to make it a little less likely, like looking both ways before I cross the road and exercising. I personally am a vegan. I live a plant-based life, and I do try and work out. I do try and eat healthy. I do try and stay hydrated. Oops, sorry. I do try and stay hydrated. She was giving me some other interesting tips, and I know this is true. She was talking about compression stockings. Let's talk about compression stockings. So my husband is a pharmacist, and he works over 12 hours a day on his feet for decades, and he is in very good shape. But one of the things that his doctor has always told him is, do you wear compression stockings? And he has worn compression stockings religiously as long as I can remember, since he was in his 30s. And that, I think, is a big reason why he doesn't have the vascular problems that so many other pharmacists his age have. So things like that we can do to really help with these things. And again, I'm not telling you what to do, talk to your doctor, but there are these things that we can do to help this. Drink more water, like I said. Look it up. It's on there's some stuff on Parkinson.org about cardiovascular health. There's lots of good information about it, but it's just something that we need to be aware of. I mean, I don't know if your steak dinner is going to get you before your Parkinson's. It's a race to the finish for all of us, but I mean, there's certainly things that we can do to improve our chances. So, and you know me, I'm a Vegas girly, so I'm all about improving those odds. Anyway, I hope this helps.